What do you do if you and your ex cannot agree on major decisions concerning the children? Let's say we're talking about a medical decision. It may seem odd that two people should fight about stuff that's good for their kids, but it wasn't long ago that we had these debates about whether to vaccinate or not vaccinate the children when the whole COVID thing came up. And there were a lot of couples who were at odds on that issue. Some of them didn't believe in vaccinations. The husband doesn't believe, the wife does. What do we do? Some of them believe in vaccinations, but didn't believe in those vaccinations because they weren't tried and tested over many years like most vaccinations are. They were rushed through the system. Are they safe? Are they not safe? How many of them do you need? Do you need boosters? Do you need this? So there's a whole discussion about that. So it's not a far-fetched question that we're presented with, which, what do I do if I don't agree with my ex on a medical thing regarding my kids? Here's the answer to the question, though. You have to remember one thing. The custody, and the one who has the custody, is going to run the point on those issues, provided they have physical custody and legal custody. In a lot of cases, though, irrespective of who's got the physical, the legal custody is shared. So if it's shared, that means both of you have to weigh in and agree on things that are important to the children as far as, let's say, medical decisions. If you cannot agree, you know what happens? Somebody's got to make the call. And who better to do that than the guy who wears the black robe? This means that your lawyer is going to have to file a motion. And that motion is going to have to say something like, Your Honor, we have a custody arrangement of such and such date that you signed. It gave the parties shared legal custody on these major decisions. We have a major decision coming up. We are at odds. We believe that this should be, done for this reason. The other side disagrees. They'll set forth their reason. The courts probably could conduct a hearing and determine whether or not it feels in the best interest of the children to go one way or another. If it's a completely elective thing, the court may kick the can down the road a ways and see whether or not it's even necessary. On the flip side, if it's something that's emergent, the court is going to have to make a fast decision. I'll tell you a very interesting one that comes up every now and then. Sometimes, we used to get this a lot. Maybe the medicine has changed over the years, but we used to get this a lot when there was a bat found in the house, in the room where the crib was. You see, a minor child's sleeping, and there's a bat that they capture in the house. They don't know if the bat bit the child. They let the bat out of the house without saving it, which is the wrong thing to do, because had they saved it, it could have been tested for rabies. By letting it out, we don't know what the deal is. So now the question is, did this bat bite this child? Now, bat marks don't leave a mark when they bite. Oftentimes it's not painful as such, and there's no way to know. And a little kid wakes up crying. The kids wake up crying all the time when they're hungry. They got to be changed, blah, blah, blah. You don't know. The question is, do you put your child on the rabies protocol? Now, the problem with the rabies protocol, aside from being unbelievably painful, is that if you have rabies, then the rabies protocol works. But there are the cases where people didn't have them, got the protocol anyways, became very, very violently ill. So that's a perfect question. Do we do this or not? So the husband may say, I'm going to err on the side of caution. I don't want the protocol. The wife may say, I'm going to err on the side of caution, therefore I want the kid to take the shot. What do you do? That's a perfect example where they may be at odds and they may be in a situation to go to the judge, and the judge will make the call. And you know what he'll make the call on? Since both arguments are probably legit, there's probably good reasons for both, he'll probably make the call on what he did, or whether or not he, in that circumstances, would have given that protocol to his children. In this particular situation, there was a pediatrician who was involved, and we asked the pediatrician point blank, well, if this were your kids, what would you do? He gave us an answer, and that answer ultimately guided what the parents decided to do in this particular situation. If you have any questions about that, reach out, and we'll be glad to help you out.